this concept out there of like, we don't pay ransom. Early on in my career, oh gosh, it's been 11 or 12 years ago. I think it was the first time I ever tried to talk to a ministry about a kidnap and ransom policy. And the guy, I asked him if it's something that they had or something they were interested in. It's probably a really poor lead in to talk to them about it. And he just pulls his business card out of his wallet and slides it across the table to me. And I pick it up and I'm like, it's so weird because I'm like, why is he giving me his business card? Like, if we know each other. And he's like, no, turn it over. And I turn over his ministry business card, and on the back it says, we do not pay ransom. And so I'm like, well, this guy's not gonna buy a kidnap and ransom policy. It's not something he's interested in. And the reality is, I think people think that number one, if you have a kidnap and ransom policy, that's somehow going to compel you to make ransom payments, which is not the case. It's always going to be up to the discretion of the insured of whether or not they want to do that. And then as I've gotten further down the road, I've also realized like that's actually a terrible idea. You want to stay neutral on what your public stance on ransoms are, because the last thing you want to have is if somebody gets kidnapped, especially nowadays, and depending on what country you're working in, if you get kidnapped and your value to them is what kind of ransom or what I can generate off of you, and you pull a business card out of my wallet that says, we don't pay ransom, and it's got my business name on it, you've lost all your negotiating power, and you've actually put that individual or your staff people at harm. The claims, very low percentage of them end up in a ransom payment. A lot of times you have individuals, especially in developing countries, where they're in a bad spot, right? They don't know what to do. Their backs are up against the wall, and it's a crime of opportunity, and they get less than 24 hours into it and realize, I've made a terrible mistake. How do I get out of this without going to jail or making things worse for myself? So it's not always, very rarely you're going to see an actual ransom payment get paid. Folks that are conducting kidnappings across the world, they're not sophisticated enough to know whether or not your employer has insurance. In fact, I would say having kidnap and ransom insurance probably makes you less likely to suffer a kidnapping situation or a ransom situation, primarily because you're getting access to all kinds of risk management materials. It's top of mind for you. You're thinking about it, and what makes you a soft target, and how you can kind of harden up some of your risk managed practices internationally. So yeah, that is a huge misconception that somehow, there's not a list, it's not publicized. In fact, one of the things that most carriers ask is that you don't even widely distribute it among your staff. So if you have an organization that's got 500 international expats, they don't want you sending out a mass email telling everybody that you have kidnap and ransom insurance. They want to keep it to a certain level of leadership, your crisis response team. So yeah, no, it's not going to make you a bigger target of those types of situations if you have the coverage in place.